Prism. A prism is a portion of a transparent medium bounded by two plane faces inclined to each other at a suitable angle. It has a particular shape defined by three rectangular faces and two triangular faces that are parallel to each other. Of the three rectangular faces, two are well polished. They are the refracting surface. The remaining one is the ground face. It is the base of the prism. The angle made by the two refracting faces is called the angle of the prism. As you can see in the various figures of the prism, in which you can see the refracting surface, the base of the prism and the apical or prism angle. Refraction of light through a prism. A ray of light suffers two refractions on passing through a prism and hence deviates through a certain angle from its original path. ABC is a principal section of a prism with angle of prism is A. A ray of light OP is incident on the face AB of the prism at I1. It bends towards the normal N1 and is refracting along PQ at R1. The refracted ray PQ is incident at the angle R2 on face AC of the prism. It bends away from the normal N2 and emerges along QR at I2. In passing through the prism, ray OP suffers two refractions and has turned through an angle LMR is equals to deviation, that is delta, which is the angle of deviation. In triangle MPQ, delta is equals to angle MPQ plus angle MQP. Delta is equals to I1 minus R1 plus I2 minus R2. Simplify this equation. Take I terms in one side and take R terms into another side. So your above equation becomes delta is equals to I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2. Call this equation as equation number 1. In triangle NPQ, angle N plus angle R1 plus angle R2 is equals to 180 degree. Call this equation as equation number 2. In quadrilateral APNQ, as P plus Q is equals to 180 degree, because angle P and angle Q, each angle is 90 degree, because N1N is perpendicular to the surface AB, which makes an angle 90, and N2 is perpendicular to the surface AC, which also makes an angle 90 degree with Q. A plus N is equals to 180 degree, because the sum of the four angle of a quadrilateral is equals to 360 degree. Using equation 2, we get N plus R1 plus R2 is equals to A plus N. N get cancel out R1 plus R2 is equals to A. That equation is taken as equation number 3. Put this value in equation number 1, then you get delta is equals to I1 plus I2 minus A. Call this equation as equation number 4. If nu is the refractive index of the material of the prism, then according to the Snell's law, nu is equals to sin I1 divided by sin R1. If these angles are very small, then we can write it as I1 divided by R1. Therefore, I1 is equals to multiply R1 with refractive index nu. So you get I1 is equals to nu R1. Similarly, we can write it for I2 is equals to nu multiply with R2. Put these I1 and I2 value in above equation, that is equation number 4. You get delta is equals to nu R1 plus nu R2 in the bracket minus A. Take this nu common from the bracket, then you get delta is equals to nu multiply with R1 plus R2 minus A. In place of R1 plus R2, we can write it as A according to the equation number 3. Then we get delta is equals to nu multiply with A minus A. Delta is equals to, take A common from the above equation, then you get nu minus 1 multiply with A. Call this equation as equation number 5. This is the angle through which a ray deviates on passing through a thin prism of small refracting angle, that is A. Now we have to calculate the prism formula. From the equation number 4, we find that angle of deviation depends upon the angle of prism, that is A, angle of incidence, and also on the nature of the material of the prism. Figure shows the variation of angle of deviation, that is delta, with the angle of incidence I. When I is increased, delta decreases, reaches a minimum and increases again. For one value of delta, there are two angles of incidence, I1 and I2. However, at minimum deviation, delta is equals to delta M when I1 is equals to I2. That is, the incident ray and the emergent ray are symmetrical with respect to the refracting faces. The refracted ray in the prism in that case will be parallel to the base. Thus, in the minimum deviation position, I1 is equals to I2 is equals to I should be taken, as I1 is equals to I2, therefore R1 is equals to R2 is taken as R. From equation number 3, we can write it as R plus R is equals to A. When you add these to R, you get 2R is equals to A, then R is equals to A by 2. From equation number 4, we can write it as delta M is equals to I plus I minus A. Take this A to the left hand side, it becomes A plus delta M is equals to, when you add these to I, you get 2I. Or if you need the angle of incidence, that is I, then your equation becomes A plus delta M whole divided by 2. If nu is the refractive index of the material of the prism, then according to the Snell's law, that is nu is equals to sine of the angle of incidence, that is I, to the sine of the angle of refraction, that is R. Substitute the value of I and R in the above equation, then nu is equals to sine in the bracket A plus delta m divided by 2, and it is whole divided by sine of A by 2. This relation is called the prism formula. Dispersion by a prism. White light is made up of 7 colors. This was first demonstrated by Sir Isaac Newton. He allowed a narrow beam of white light to pass through a prism. A beam of white light, when it passes through a prism, is split up into its constituent colors. Different colors suffer different amount of deviation. The spread of colors is called dispersion of light. The medium which brings about dispersion is called a dispersive medium. The band of colors obtained on the screen is called a spectrum. Hence, when a ray of white light passes through a prism, different wavelengths are deviated to different extent. As a result, the incident ray is split up into its constituent colors on passing through the prism. The phenomena of splitting a ray of white light into its constituent colors is called dispersion, and the band of colors from violet to red is called spectrum, that is Vibgyor. Now we have to calculate the dispersive power of a prism. The dispersive power of a medium for any two colors or wavelength is the ratio of the angular dispersion between them to the mean deviation. It is denoted by the letter omega. Therefore, dispersive power is equals to angular dispersion to the mean deviation. Angular dispersion for violet and red is equals to refractive index of violet minus refractive index of red multiply with A, and mean deviation of violet and red color is equals to delta V plus delta R whole divided by 2, where delta V stands for the deviation for the violet color and delta R stands for the deviation for the red color. That is, mean deviation is equals to the refractive index of violet minus 1 multiply with A plus the refractive index of red minus 1 multiply with A whole divided by 2. Then mean deviation is equals to the refractive index of violet plus the refractive index of red whole divided by 2 minus 1 multiply with A, where nu is equals to the refractive index of violet plus the refractive index of red whole divided by 2 can be replaced with nu minus 1 multiply with A. Therefore, omega is nothing but dispersive power is equals to the refractive index of violet minus the refractive index of red multiply with A whole divided by the refractive index minus 1 multiply with A, where A get cancelled out. So remaining answer for the dispersive power, that is omega, is equals to the refractive index of violet minus the refractive index of red whole divided by the refractive index minus 1. Dispersive power also indicates the ability of the material of the prism to disperse the light rays. It is defined as the ratio of the angular dispersion to the deviation of the mean ray. Achromatic combination of prism. Deviation without dispersion. An achromatic prism is a combination of two appropriate prisms so constructed that it shows no colors. It is noted that the dispersive power of different materials are different. Flint glasses have higher dispersive power than crowned glasses. Hence, it is possible to combine two prisms of different materials and specified angles such that a ray of white light may pass through the combination without dispersion, though it may suffer deviation. Such a combination is called an achromatic combination. Deviation without dispersion. In figure shows an arrangement of two prisms which does not cause dispersion, though it may produce deviation. Let the first prism be made up of crown and the second prism made up of flint glass. Let deviation for the violet and deviation for the red be the deviation, and the refractive index of violet and the refractive index of red rays in case of crown glass prism. Let the angle of the prism be A. The angular dispersion produced by the crown glass prism is deviation for the violet color minus deviation for the red color is equals to the refractive index of violet minus the refractive index of red multiply with angle of the prism, that is A. Let the refracting angle of the second prism of flint glass be A dash. It is arranged in such a way that it produces a deviation in a direction opposite to that of the first prism. Let delta dash V and delta dash R be the deviation for the violet color and red color, and nu dash V and nu dash R be the refractive index for violet color and red color. The angular dispersion produced by the flint glass prism is delta dash V minus delta dash R is equals to nu dash V minus nu dash R multiply with A dash. For achromatism, the net angular dispersion produced by the two prisms must be 0. Refractive index of violet minus the refractive index of red multiply with A plus nu dash V minus nu dash R multiply with A dash is equals to 0. This is the condition for achromatism. Therefore, A is equals to minus nu dash V minus nu dash R whole divided by the refractive index of violet minus the refractive index of red multiply with A dash. The negative sign shows that the two prisms should be placed with their refracting angles in opposite direction. Equation may be written as refractive index of violet minus refractive index of R whole divided by nu minus 1 multiply with nu minus 1 multiply with A, where nu minus 1 get cancelled out plus nu dash v minus nu dash r whole divided by nu dash minus 1 multiply with nu dash minus 1 multiply with a dash. Nu dash minus 1 get cancelled out is equals to 0. Using the dispersive power of the equation, we can write the above equation as omega multiply with delta is equals to minus omega dash delta dash, where omega and omega dash are the dispersive power of the two prism and delta dash are their mean deviation of the two prism. Dispersion without deviation. It consists of two prisms of different dispersive power and different angles and combined in such a way that the combination does not produce deviation of the mean rays. If the angle of the crown and flint glass prism are so adjusted that the deviation produced for the mean ray by the first prism is equal and opposite to that produced by the second prism, then the final beam will be parallel to the incident beam. However, such a combination of two prisms produces dispersion of the incident beam without deviation. Let us consider two thin prisms which is made up of crown glass and the other of flint glass. Let A and A dash be the refracting angles of the prism and N and N dash be the refractive index. Let delta and delta dash be the deviation produced for the mean ray by the two prisms respectively. The deviations are given by delta is equals to nu minus 1 multiply with A. Delta dash is equals to nu dash minus 1 multiply with A dash. The net deviation produced by the prism combination is to be 0. That is, delta plus delta dash is equals to 0. Nu minus 1 multiply with A plus nu dash minus A multiply with A dash is equals to 0. Then A is equals to minus of nu dash minus 1 whole divided by nu minus 1 multiply with A dash. The negative sign shows that the refracting angles of the two prisms are in opposite direction. We calculate the net angular dispersion produced by the combination of prism as follows. The total deviation for the violet ray is given by delta V is equals to nu V minus 1 multiply with A plus nu dash V minus 1 multiply with A dash, and the total deviation for the red ray is also given by delta R is equals to nu R minus 1 multiply with A plus nu R dash minus 1 multiply with A dash. Hence, the total dispersion is equals to delta V minus delta R is equals to nu V minus nu R multiply with A plus nu dash V minus nu dash R multiply with A dash. Using previous equation into the above equation, we obtain delta V minus delta R is equals to nu V minus nu R multiply with A plus nu dash V minus nu dash R multiply with, replace A dash with minus nu minus 1 whole divided by nu dash minus 1 multiply with a. When you simplify this equation, you get delta V minus delta R is equals to nu V minus nu R whole divided by nu minus 1 minus nu dash V minus nu dash R whole divided by nu dash minus 1 multiply with nu minus 1 again multiply with a. The above equation can be rewritten as delta V minus delta R is equals to omega minus omega dash multiply with nu minus 1 again multiply with a. Thus, the resultant dispersion is equal to the difference between the two dispersion. Ophthalmic prism. Ophthalmic prism are generally thin prism. They have an apical angle of less than 10 degree to 15 degree. Thin prism have no dioptric power but can be combined with dioptric lenses in a refractive correction. Ophthalmic prism is a prism defined as a portion of a refracting medium bordered by two plane surfaces which are inclined at a finite angle. The angle between the two surfaces is called the refracting angle or apical angle of the prism. In the diagram of ophthalmic prism, you can see the apex angle and the base of the prism. How can we use this prism in ophthalmology? By placing a base out prism in front of the eye, which is the treatment for esotropia. The real image is shifted towards the base of the prism and will focus on the fovea. This results in the merging of the two images. The unit of the prism is diopter and centrad.